individual artefact we have chosen to analyse is the game Don't Turn a Night Out into a Nightmare. This is an interactive online game from the Australian Government Department of Health and Ageing website, designed for individual learners from years 7 to 10. It is a digital board game which uses real-world situations to allow the players to choose their pathway through the game depending upon their decision. Firstly, the player is given the option of their gender of their character and then must choose the age bracket in which they are in. The character moves their way through the game board, stopping at each event tile. The player is given a choice card where they will need to make decisions on how to act and interact with people in a responsible way. This game has many positive aspects which include the character chosen by the player is gender and age specific. It is made by the Australian Government Department of Health and Ageing, which makes the game more reliable and a valid resource for students to use. There are no pop-ups or advertisements, meaning that students won't be distracted or be tempted to click on something they shouldn't during class time. The site is free with no sign-up, making it easily accessible. It is visually appealing, so students will be more engaged. The only negative about the game is that there is no sound option. This means that it does not cater for every student's needs. For example, visually impaired students. Real-world connections are made throughout the whole game. It is based on real-life events before, during and after a teenage party. The options given on choice cards and the consequences of the decision made by the player relate to real situations that teenagers may face on a night out. For example, we have chosen to take our chances at the bottle shop, being under 18. Immediately after the decision is made, a warning card appears and tells us the consequences of our actions, stating that it is illegal to purchase alcohol under the age of 18, and there are fines for both you and the place you attempt to purchase it from. In a real-world life situation like this, the consequences are exactly the same.
The situations faced throughout the game are specifically aimed at the teenage age group and relate to the real world. Situations such as being peer pressured, sexually harassed, physically harassed, or harmed throughout the party are all main problems in this age bracket and are clearly identified throughout the game. For example, a conversation starts with a boy and he seems really nice, asking general questions such as, "How's your night been?" and "Have you been to many festivals lately?" But throughout your conversation he becomes more and more assertive towards the girl character, asking her to go with him somewhere away from the party. The player has a few options to choose from as to what to reply with. This helps the student to understand what are the right and wrong things to say or do. The game connects to various parts of the New South Wales Board of Studies PDHPE 7 and 10 syllabus, particularly Strand 3 of the syllabus, Individual and Community Health. The students are introduced with a risk and need to choose an option which will potentially minimise harm. This relates to the outcome 4.7, Exploring Risk. The options to choose from on our decision card can either be a positive or negative risk. In the syllabus, students explore that there are many settings or circumstances in which risk-taking can occur. This is shown in the board game by the setting being a Saturday night party where there are many negative risks, such as drinking underage. Also, this game relates to the dot point, strategies to minimize harm, in outcomes 4.7, safe attitudes and developing personal skills. The game cards praise the player if they make a good decision within the game, which leads the student to gain knowledge about safe attitudes, and it helps them to develop personal skills. This game could be included in a PDHPE lesson as an individual whole lesson activity or half a lesson activity. It engages all students and gives an alternative to teaching. Overall, this game is a great resource for teachers to use in a PDHPE class.